What's up, everyone? CB33 here. Excuse me. Giving you a little guide on FanDuel and how to get started with us. Since we're in the midst of baseball, I'm going to go ahead and click on MLB right here. As you can see, a bunch of different contest selections came down for us. First one on our hands is going to be tournaments, also known as GPPs. That's what you'll hear us call them a lot here in the chat. GPP just stands for Guaranteed Prize Pool. If you go down over here, you'll see guaranteed in prizes. So FanDuel is guaranteeing 110 grand in prizes, no matter if that tournament fills or not, which is cool. Most of the time they do fill. Um, Come over here, you have beat the score. This is just going to be you entering in a lineup, and it just has to beat whatever score of the contest you entered. So we have 125, 145, 135, and 140. So let's say we enter in the 125. We just need our lineup to hit 126 or 125.1, and we're guaranteed a piece of this $1,500 prize pool. If everyone in your contest hits over 125, that's obviously, well, there's 595 entrants that would exceed the $1,500 in prize pool. So they would just end up refunding you back your $3 entry. But let's say that you and maybe one other person get better than 125. You and that other person would split that 1,500, so 750 a piece. Kind of enticing. They don't really happen too often where only one or two people hit. It has to be a really weird night. Come over here to multipliers. These are known as cash games. You have double ups, triple ups, quintuple ups in here. Pretty self-explanatory. There is another cash game that I'll skip over these head-to-head and 3 to 100 player and come over here to 50-50. This is also a cash game. This is people are going to ask what's the difference between a double up and a 50-50. Well, in a 50-50, the top 50% win, but you don't necessarily double up your money. So a $10 entry fee, if you win in a $10 50-50, you'll win $18 instead of 20. But if you come over to multipliers, put in the $2, you're going to win 4, but only the top 39% end up cashing instead of 50% with the 50-50s. So we like to choose the 50-50s just because it provides a little cushion and leeway on your scores. If you've been playing FanDuel or DraftKings for a while, you know that every point counts. So the 50-50s are the better way to go. Come over here, you have head-to-heads. These are just going to be your lineups versus someone else's. They have a bunch of different dollar amounts, anywhere from $1 to 10,000. I don't really play these that much. They're kind of more friendly thing to me. Play with your friends. Come over here, you have a 3 to 100 player. These ones are going to have a bunch of different payout structures. You'll see top 12 win, top 3 win, and then you come down to these 5-player contests. These are all winner take alls. There is a different dollar amount for entry fees. They go anywhere from $1 all the way up to 10,000, I think, as well. And they all have the different payout structures. Each dollar amount will have a top 3 win, a top 12, and then a winner take all as well. So those are your contests you can select from for baseball. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what you guys would need to do if you were planning on playing one of our lines that we post in the chat. So let's say I post, I'm going to have one GPP and one cash game. You would just go over to the tournaments, click that, scroll down. I do recommend playing only single entry or 25 entry max, 3 entry max, 5 entry max, anything with a max entry on it. I recommend this because in other contests like this big MLB rally, 20K to first, everyone sees like, oh yeah, 20 grand to first place. It's a $10 entry, basically $9.99, but you're able to put in 150 lineups. So if you're not putting in 150 lineups into a 150 max contest, you're kind of already losing. It's not for sure, but you only have 3 lines compared to a bunch of other people's 150, so they're covering. There's no overlaps in their lineups, so they're covering pretty much anything and everything that can happen on the slate versus your 3 lineups with 24 players. So, like I said, take the single entries. These dollar amounts are all, yeah, so like they have the $1 bunt. I like to enter that. The $1 3 entry max. Another one I've been targeting a lot. You'll see this $2.22 entry fee. Tomorrow it's 25 entry max. Other days it's 20. Either one I'm fine with since it's capped on how many entries you can have. Those are the ones you're going to want to target. A lot of success in those. And then for cash, you'll just go over here to 50/50 and you'll pick whatever dollar amount you would like to wager that night. Most of the time I run like a couple tens, like 3 or 4 tens or 225s. Doesn't matter what dollar amount you pick. The only thing that does matter is if you go over here, you'll see the contest size. So we have one like out of 100, out of 20, and there's some that are out of 50. You'll always want to pick the one out of 100. I don't know why, they're just easier to cash. I can't put an explanation to it, but over my time on playing FanDuel, I've found out that the 100-man contest are way easier to cash than the 20 or 50. Maybe it's just me, but I hope you guys follow suit with that as well. And that's pretty much it. Actually, so you'd go over to these things and you'd click on them and you'd fill in a dummy line. So let me click here. Where am I at? I'm in 50/50s. I don't know why it won't let me. Oh, enter in new lineup. Here we go. So go over there, enter in and line up. So right here, you're just going to come over and you're just going to pick a bunch of random players. You just want it to fit under that salary. So I'm going to fill in all this. All right, so my lineup's filled. I just go ahead and click enter, and that's gonna already reserve my my entry for that contest. I recommend doing this earlier in the day because if you wait like a couple hours before lock is when your lineups lock and you're unable to change them. If you do it like a couple hours before lock, you screw yourself because the contests fill up and then you're entering in smaller backup contests with lower prize pools. Better off getting in as early as you can. Sometimes even the night before they'll have contests open for the next day. So that's what I recommend doing. And then once you see the lineup that we post, I'll go over here to Discord page and you'll go over to FanDuel Cash, FanDuel GPP. So I put in 1 GPP today, and you would just bring that up and just edit your lineup over here accordingly to what I have over here. When you're done, just click enter and you'll be set to go. Just make sure you do that before the lock time starts, otherwise you're unable to change your line after lock. So yeah, there's your little guide. Any questions, feel free to DM or holler at one of us in the chat, and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.